So
So let me ask you guys this. Let me ask you guys this. How is it? Well, first of all, are you guys involved in like a love life? Any of you?
I'm getting married this summer.
You're getting married?
I'm getting married. Yeah.
Taylor Jones, who hopped on top of Walmart carts and all that stuff. We're getting married? Okay.
This little girl.
Congrats.
Thank you, brother.
Congrats. My question was going to be that, like, I'm a family man. I've got a family. It's hard enough to be a family man and run a business. And I know you guys like run multiple businesses in different aspects. How do you juggle that? For Romer, if he's not involved in a love life, it might be easier for him. But I know even Romer has,
I
3,
think that's
4,
a myth.
5.
I think that's a myth, and I'll explain why. So if you're single and you want to be with a lot of girls, you have to go out to find different girls. You have to court them. It's like a lot of work, Like
It's a lot of work today.
Yeah, exactly. But like, okay, my developer for Go-To Lister, he's my partner in the business, and he works fully like 10 to 14 hours a day. And I'm like, how is this guy who's married with kids working more than me? And it's like, oh, I'm salsa dancing every night. And I'm like doing these things. And like, sometimes it fucks with me. I'm like, oh, I need somebody right now. It's just like, it's like this need in your life that you want to fill. But he literally can work all the time, go to the bedroom, chill with his wife, come back, work, spend an hour with his kids, super fulfilling, and then go work again. Like where with me, I guess I don't need someone, but it's definitely like an internal desire we have where it's like, sometimes I'm like, oh shit, like let me go on a couple dates this week. Boom, 8 hours gone, And so, and plus you don't even know the person. You don't know if you like them or not. I think it's more draining to be single pursuing women than it is to have one loyal woman in your life. I think it's a cheat code actually to be able to accomplish more.
I've heard that from people that when they're involved, and this isn't everybody, because it's definitely not, this is definitely not even my wife, thankfully. But a lot of people have said to me that are in relationships, they've said that my wife or girlfriend or significant other says that I work too much and I don't spend enough time with them. So they feel like a pressure of saying, shit, you know what I mean? I'm going to have to sacrifice a little bit of working on what I'm doing to try to fulfill and keep this relationship happy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I would argue if that relationship wasn't there, as men, you would probably want a relationship. Like no man wants to be celibate, just building their business. Like that man, anyone who's like highly driven is going to want like a woman in their life. Like those two things go hand in hand, I think. And so I think it's kind of an illusion that, your woman takes away from you. Cause I know at times in my life when I've had like one girl by my side, I can actually be at peace and not have to like go out. Like I love going out, but I don't like it. It is a lot of energy, and time dedicated to that. So
Taylor, you ever run into that issue if you're out traveling, or do you still travel now that you have a woman in your life that you're about to marry?
He's in Costa Rica.
Yeah, we're in Costa Rica right now.
Oh, you're in Costa Rica right now?
Yeah. Our home base is in Salt Lake. We actually moved to Salt Lake about a year and a half ago. So we spend a lot of time there. No, it's a good question, Richie. I think for us, like, I was definitely working. So Diane and I have been together for just over, 2 years, and when it was in January. I think the first year that we were together, I was working a lot more. And there were definitely specific months where I was working like all the time, like to make, grow the business. There were crunch moments. But we both value like having a lot of leisure time, and like, especially we both value like spirituality, like doing our meditations in the morning together and doing fun things together. So I've set up my business so where like I don't have to work like crazy hours. I mean, I could if I want to, like, and who knows, maybe next year, the year after, I will go back to working, 50-hour, 40-hour weeks. I don't think so. But we found a flow that works for us. I don't like to work all the time, like I enjoy having the leisure time, but like I said, there were times where I did have to crunch, and she was okay with it because like I just communicated to her like, look, we're having a rough month right now, like I need to fucking go. Like we had that happen a couple times. So
it's gonna be grind
I think
time.
as long as the most important thing is like as a man, you're valuing your vision and you're pursuing that, and like, as long as you're communicating an enticing vision to your woman, like, and honey, like this is where we're headed, this is where we're going, and she's on board and she's excited about it, I don't think she's going to complain about you working 8-9 hours a day.
Yeah, I could see that. I feel bad, honestly, for the people that run into that issue, because it's like, I feel like sometimes if a woman can't be understanding, and I'm probably going to get a lot of shit in the comments for this one, but if a woman can't be understanding to let a man, if a man has a vision and a dream and a plan, I feel like each one, the man and the woman, should be supportive of one another. So if the man's working his ass off to provide for the household or provide for the person or for the kids or whatever the situation would be, because everybody has different situations. If one or the vice versa goes for the woman, if she has some kind of dream and aspirations and the man's not understanding, because the man's like wanting that attention, which it doesn't usually happen that way, but sometimes it does. I feel like the other person should be a little understanding and say, okay, you're trying to grind, you're trying to hustle for us and not just for you.
Yeah.
So that, well, it's good you guys don't run into that issue, because a lot of people do.
Well, I'll tell you what the make or break is, though, Richie. The make or break is like, as men, we want connection, but we don't really need to feel like emotionally we just want like 100%. To be respected. Women, they want to feel like they can open up and be emotionally vulnerable with their partner. So if you're going to work 8, 9, 10 hours, great. You better set aside at least for my relationship, I know that I need to give her at least 30 to 60 minutes a day where like she feels like emotionally that we're connecting, And if I do that, like I could work 12 hours a day. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that, Richie? That's in my experience, at least.
I think you're absolutely right. I think you hit it right on the head. I think women need to feel that emotional connection, because men, we're wired differently, right? We male and female, we're wired differently to think differently, feel differently, all that stuff. I feel like men are programmed to get out there and provide. Like, to sum it up in simple terms, and I know it's not simple terms, but I feel like women are more nurturers and men are more providers, like naturally built that way. You know what I mean?
Men want sex and respect. That's all we want.
Yeah, we want to hit it. We want to hit it, and if you let us hit it too early, then maybe you're not the one, but maybe you are the one. Maybe you are the one. I don't know. Maybe you are the one. Shh.
We want sex and respect. Women want
sex and respect. There we go. We want sex and respect.
Yeah, women want emotional sex.
Oh my God. You guys, speaking of sex, well, let's just keep it on with the sex thing. When you guys travel abroad, you guys banging everybody, or what's going on, when you're in different countries?
Yeah.
Yo, Romer's over there salsa dance. He's like, hey.
Yeah, that's actually like I was kind of alluding to earlier. Like, it was actually kind of a problem in Mexico City. Like, because it's like Tinder in America, you're probably too old for Tinder, or like you never.
Well, wait, hold on. I listen. I'm gonna let you. I just have to tell you this, because Tinder, right? Because I think that was probably one of the oldest online dating and one of the first like actual like mainstream dating thing. And now you have things like Bumble and swipe right, swipe left, swipe up, swipe down, swipe your sister's ass, all this stuff, right? Back in the day when I was growing up, when that shit started coming out, only like desperate people that like were like desperate, that had no social skills to go out. Like it was taboo. You know what I mean? Yeah. Now it's completely normal. It's like, if you don't do that and you're single, like, what are you doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So let me explain it this way. Like in Mexico, I could match with like 8s and 9s on Tinder and like actually go hang out with them. And then plus salsa dancing, like you meet higher quality women, in my opinion. But in the States, dude, I get like 5s on Tinder. I matched with a nice girl this morning, but it's rare to have like a good match. And so like dude,
so how does that even work? Like,
you're a white dude in Latin America. Every single night you could have a different girl if you wanted to, because these apps work. Or you can just go out and meet girls too. So I mean, I'm not saying it's not like that in the States, but it's certainly like a little bit. It's definitely different here. Like it doesn't work in the States. Tinder doesn't work. Yeah, I have to go out and salsa dance and like. As a man, I think literally
you have to show everybody how you move in the hips.
Exactly. I gotta like put some work in here. So that's actually why I came back, is to
how does that even work though? Like if you like, are you, when you say you get 8s and 9s in like, I don't know, in Colombia, Mexico, or wherever, but you get like 5s here, what does that mean? Does that mean like
I'm not going out with the 5s?
Well,
right, but I'm saying, but how do you get that number? I've never used the site. I don't know how it works. Like, is it like
I just look at the girls I match with, and on Tinder I'm like, I must have accidentally swiped right, or like been like really desperate or something, because I no way I'm meeting up with this girl right now.
Yeah,
like, Taylor can attest to this, even in Miami.
It's all data and numbers, and for whatever reason, there's too many men searching for too few women on in major U.S. cities.
Yeah,
Like,
if you're a white dude in Latin America, it means you have money in their head. It means that you're a high value man because you're traveling there. Like you automatically check all these boxes. Whereas if in America, like you better
you're the
be
common Joe.
In America, the top 40% of women, if you're a 6.5 to a 10, you don't even need to be on Tinder. You just need to walk out down the street. You know what I'm saying? To get, whereas, so you have the 80% of men going after the bottom, 40% of 50% of women. And it's like, yeah, it's not, the odds are not in your favor.
Yeah, it's the same thing in Mexico, but the only difference is we're at the top like 1% in Mexico. Whereas here, in order to get the top 1%, I'm not saying we can't be, but we definitely have to like show the woman. And it's kind of hard to display that just on Tinder. You have to like meet her in person, show her you make 6 figures, show her that you're 6 feet, show her that like all these different things,
Yeah.
It's that Miami profile, right? Miami, you got to make 7 figures. You got to make 7 figures. You got to be in crypto. You got to own multiple businesses, travel. You have to own private jets. You have to have all this shit, Thank God that I met my wife 14 years ago when things were still kind of normal in the world. Slightly. I don't think anything's ever been normal, but